Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp it right in there, right onto the the mat to make sure they're lined up how I want them. It's just like a little shadow. Yeah, it looks good. This is the rubber mounted, so it leaves a little mark sometimes. Okay, so then you just go ahead and take the shapes that you cut out, fit them right back in their homes, where they came from, return to their origins. Stick them right in there. This one looks like it's off just a tiny bit, actually. Let me do this one again. That one's just a tiny bit off. You see how it's stamped on the outside? We don't want that. Okay. Hopefully that's in there. I'm just going to put something over this so I don't stamp it yet. I think that looks better. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put this in here now. In a perfect world, this all lines up great. Of course, you can always just stamp it and then die cut it out. That works just as well. Okay, so I'm gonna ink this up. Cross my fingers, hope this comes out right. And looks like I need to do it one more time. Make sure I have a nice dark image on there. Okay, it looks messy now because I've got all the extra outlines on there, but now look at that, it looks pretty good. Okay, we'll pop this guy up. Looks a lot better without the outside. I'm actually gonna do 2 of these eucalyptus ones because I like them the best. So I'm gonna do that one again. I want 2 of them. And that one turned out better anyway, so that's a good thing. There we go. Now I've got 2 of them lined up. And that also helps keeping those, like the die cutting, it kind of keeps those little edges off when you catch them sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe this guy off because otherwise I will forget I have black ink on there and make a mess. There you go. Put this aside. So now I've got these guys. Again, this is my inside here. So just to start off, I'm gonna put a little shading in the background. Just some yellow. This is our pale papaya. Any color is fine. This is the one I had right here. Our blenders. I'm going to put these on here. I just love these brushes. They're so fun to work with. They're so soft. Just put a little bit on there just to give it some shading in the background. And then I'm going to color this guy in. And since my paper is mint macaron, I thought I would use that same color with our blends. It's kind of a, well, it's a eucalyptus color, I think. Even though it says mint macaron, I think it's kind of a eucalyptus color, that kind of greenish blue. And I'm going to do it a little bit freeform, not coloring every tiny little bit on there. Get it in there, and then I'll go back and I'll add a darker color. And like I said in one of my last videos, I don't always mix the same colors. You can kind of put whatever color you think will work with it in there. Sometimes I want a little more contrast, so I don't want to use the dark of the color that I have. So for this one, I'm going to actually use some light Old Olive. Old Olive is absolutely my go-to. I love that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on there, give it some shading coming out. I think it looks good. I like that difference because eucalyptus is like all different colors. I remember when that was all the craze and we had eucalyptus wreaths all over and they were kind of a red and bluish green. So I think kind of any color really will work on here. You could also interpret these as, you know, flowers and do them pink or blue, what have you. Okay, then I'm just gonna go back with my mint, kind of blend those colors together. It would look different if you had the dark mint on here, of course. You could do it that way. I just wanted to do it a little different. Okay, so there's my colors. It also picks up on the yellow behind. I'm gonna put these guys on here. just like so. And one of them, I missed the corner right there, so I'm gonna put that one down here. Okay, and then I have, there's lots of words in this set. This one right here, I just wanted the much love. So I'm just gonna ink up that part of it. I'm actually gonna use a block for this one instead of my Stamparatus, which is strange because I always use my Stamparatus for words, but if I'm gonna do some masking off, I will use this. So I'm gonna put this on here, and I'm gonna have to not use that because it's not quite long enough. We'll put it on this one right here. That will be great. Just gonna trim it down a titch. There we go. Actually, I don't like that either, so I'll go back to here. We'll stamp it and then we'll cut it out. So here's my stamp right here. And I just want the much love. I don't want the whole thing. So what you can do, you can ink it all up. And then you can just cut that part away, or just use a scrap, kind of put it over that. Or a Post-it note works really well. See if this is gonna work. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. All right, we'll do it again. We're just gonna cut it away. It's early in the morning here. I should be at the gym, but I'm not because my car is getting fixed right now. So I thought, well, I might as well do this video I wanted to do. So I'm just gonna fussy cut it away, and that'll take away all of the little edges that I got because my hands are not fully awake this morning, I guess. They'd be awake if I was at the gym. They'd be working. They'd be yelling at me for being out of bed, but the AC in my car is not super cold, and in Arizona, if you don't have a cold AC, then you basically don't drive your car because it's 320 degrees outside right now. Not exactly, but it certainly feels like it sometimes. You just sweat all the time. It's fun, but the winters are great. That's what we say. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this guy just on here. So let's go ahead and pop him up. I'm gonna use some glue and some dimensionals. Get this guy to lay down in here. We'll pop one up and put one flat just so that it has some variety. We'll put this guy flat. Here. And then we'll pop this guy up. And then we can pop this up at the bottom so that it's as tall as the flower to the right. Oh my goodness. There we go. All right, this is super skinny, this little thing I cut out, so we'll just put him in the middle. Put it over here to the right, to left. So that's our little sentiment. It's gonna stick up in the middle, our showstopper, focal point. Okay, so I've already die cut some mint paper to go behind this. Using a different focus on my camera, so I'm not sure what all you guys are seeing just yet. We'll see how it goes. Glue that on there. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our card here. There we go. And now all we have to do is we're gonna just glue it on there. Super easy. I shouldn't say easy. I'm not allowed to say easy in my classroom, so I shouldn't say it here, but super doable. How's that? Super doable. We don't say easy because if you say something's easy and then someone's like, wow, I really struggle with that, it means I must be really not very smart. We don't want to do that. So we just say, oh, that's doable. I could totally do that. Or that's not too bad. Make sure it's right side up. I'm gonna lay it down here. Make sure it's centered where I want it to be. Right up to the fold there. And then I'm just gonna close it onto that. And then it will just pop up like that. Pretty, huh? I like it. All right, let's go ahead and finish this card. These kind of cards, because they do pop up, I'm gonna do a belly band on here. I'm doing a lot of belly bands lately. Why not? So on the outside here, I've already pre-cut my rectangles. This rectangle die set, this is my go-to all the time. It's great because you can lay it down and know how big it is. You know, if it's gonna fit, you kind of judge instead of cutting or measuring. You just lay it down. Hey, that fits, we'll use that. So I kind of love that. I'm just gonna lay this on here. And I've got some of these guys to go in the background. You could lay this down and use your sponge and really get it all covered. But since I'm gonna layer something on top of it, it will be held in place through what I call the sandwich method. So put this on here, and then we're gonna put this right over the top of it. And again, I'll go back and color it, my mint macaron. This is why I don't typically use this end of the marker, because the other side is better, I think. Everybody has their preference. Mine's getting a little, it wants to be replaced, I think, but it's down on the list because now, you know, we're buying Christmas colors. Got to get those Christmas cards made. So this isn't necessarily my top choice for Christmas color. That would work, but you know, reds and greens, those are what we're looking at right now. We're doing a Christmas in July class here on Saturday. That should be fun. Get those cards started. Give a little shading here. I like when they give us where to put our shading. Makes it easier to be the artist here. It's like, oh, right there? That's right? Okay, I'll do it right there. That's good. I'll do it there. So we don't have to think. Can add more, of course, but it does make it nice. Go back and feel like a real artist by shading, making it extra pretty. I like these colors together. I don't know, what do you think? I think they're pretty together. Okay, and we're gonna glue this guy. We're gonna glue him on because this card already has a lot of dimensions, so I don't want it to be too big. Although I think when you give someone a card that's really thick and dimensional, they pay more attention to it. Like, oh wow, yeah, this is like a thing. It's a big deal. Now this die here, it has these little pieces here that you cut out of it. So you could go and stick these in behind here. Make it look like there was even more plants going on. I don't like to waste these little leaves. I'm always trying to make leaves out of something. So I'm just gonna stick them hither and thither. Give a little more dimension. Maybe right down in here. There we go. It's either beautiful or a hot mess. You can decide. Okay, and then we have one more word we can stamp in there. And this one is sending hugs. Here we go. So let's get my block out to stamp this guy, and hopefully I won't get corners all over it. I'm doing great with that today. We're gonna practice. Not bad. Make sure we don't have any corners caught. Right in the middle. There we go. Yay! This guy we're just gonna put right on there. And this one I will pop up just a little bit. These are my tiny, tiny little dimensionals probably from a paper pumpkin. I don't love the tiny ones, but I mean, sometimes they're great for those little places, but typically I don't always love these ones. Put it right on here. That one's gonna hang out because we have to finish our belly band here. So let's go ahead and do that. So when I do belly bands, I like to wrap from the back, line it up, line it up with your grid. Line this guy up with any line, doesn't matter because it's gonna move around. And then if it's lined up, it should fold and meet. And then you crease it down. Okay, and then you're just gonna glue underneath this part. Like that. And I like to put the overlap in the front. That way I can cover it up with a little front panel or embellishment or something. So it's not quite as obvious. This is another little strip of the DSP from this Splendid Thoughts set. And we'll take this big guy and we'll put it right there. I think the hug guy is going to be under there. And for this one, I'm going to actually use some sticky strip just to make sure it stays on there. So I'll line it up. I want it to go right about here. So I'm going to line it up a little bit so I know where to put my sticky strip. Sticky strip, tearaway tape. It's one of those. It's the sticky strip that tears away, whatever it's called. And I think this little guy is going to actually need to go away because he's going to catch. So I'm just going to use my scissors to snip him away. He's a little bit long there. Got him over a little too far. I'll take care of that. Anyway, so now we've got this on here. So let's just peel this away again using our Take a Pick tool. And this guy, pop it back in there. Let's put him right here. There's the outside of our card. There you go. And you just pull this off, open it up, and you've got the inside of your card. And I think I cut it up, but I did have a piece that went right here. I think I cut something out of it. But I will put a panel right here to write on. So that will be like a white square. Yeah, I think I cut it up. I'll put a white square down here. Here it is. And so I can put my note to my friend on there. But there you go. That's how you make a pop-up card. The easy way. There's lots of other ways, and you can make multi-tier ones as well. Maybe I'll show that another time. But this is just the basic way. So there's this one. This will loosen up as you move it around. So there's this one. Here's some other ones that I did. This is one using the Brilliant Butterfly. Added some shimmer on there. This is some old paper. I think it's like Daffodil Garden. But this one has shimmery butterfly inside. Again, same concept. This one is just going this way. And so this part had to be a lot shorter. Remember, our other one was that rectangle was much longer. But if I'd used that in this, it would have stuck out the end. So the cool thing about the rectangles is when you're making it, you can take this and lay it down right there where you want it and be like, okay, it's gonna hang out. If it doesn't fit here, you know it's not gonna fit in your card. So that's one reason why I really like those rectangles in there. Okay, and then it just slips back in there. It really does, I promise. There you go. There's this guy. And then again, another size. This is a 6x6 card. Again, you just pop this off and you open this one up. It's much bigger because I have this much room now to do a much bigger piece. So you just go by how far this is. This is typically, I do it about 1 inch and then 1/4 of an inch. So it's like 2.5. You can make it taller if you want it taller. You just kind of measure your paper and then you cut this just that much shorter than the side of your card. Hopefully that makes sense. I will have all the measurements and directions on my blog, so you can check that out. It's linked below. But there you go. There's the pop-up cards. Super fun. Now I just need to mail these. This one's super thick. Might need extra postage. There's one we did today. I would love to see what you do with this idea. Until we meet again, happy stamping.